good morning. We are live. Show number 67 on Addicted to Gear. Welcome to everyone here. Thank you for joining me for this Sunday show. I hope everyone's doing well. Please give me the okay sign, I guess, if the volume is okay on the mic. I'm a little bit further from where I usually am on the mic today. And I just want to make sure everything is loud and clear before we get started. So welcome to everyone here today. How is everybody doing? Everyone ready for another Addicted to Gear session? I look a little bit washed out. I have a window right here in front of me and the sun is streaming in. So I look a little bit pale today. Don't worry, everything's okay. Nothing to worry about health-wise. So welcome everybody. I hope everybody is having a great Sunday so far. And I know that some of you in the States are enjoying a long weekend. I believe it's Memorial Day, so I hope everybody has a really nice long weekend and enjoys the extra time off. If you don't have to go into work, that's awesome. And I wanted to say that for those of you who haven't seen the poll, I put up a poll yesterday on YouTube, and I just asked a couple of questions regarding what equipment you guys are buying these days. What fits your playing style? And it was interesting. I just put out the question was basically, what fits your style the most right now? Is it, playing through a tube amp, transistor amp, a modeling system like a Kemper or an Axe-Fx or something along those lines? PC software. I know some of you guys are probably playing through some PC software like Guitar Rig or Amplitube, or there's a whole bunch of them, which some people like using quite a bit. Or are you just going the simple route and playing through an acoustic guitar? Some people just like to keep it simple, and just play and noodle on acoustic guitars and try and compose some songs on acoustic without necessarily getting into the minutia of all the technical aspects of all the gear, right? Sometimes you get so bogged down on gear that, you just don't concentrate on the music as much. So I asked this question yesterday, and the results are in. So I wanted to share that with you guys and see what your thoughts are on that, if the results are accurate or not, because I thought that it was quite interesting. So 40% of you said that tubes would be the best way to go. So if I can pull up the actual survey here in front of me, if you guys give me just 1 second so I don't give you the wrong information, and I'll tell you exactly what all the results were exactly. So let me just go into that right now. All right, so here's the poll. So the question officially was, which technology do you currently prefer for your performing/home playing needs? So 40% said tube amps, and I thought that was interesting because I had the feeling that tube amps were kind of going away. I think a lot of people were kind of more into playing with multi-effects units because you could play in in a condo or something and not disturb other people, and you have all the luxury of all the different amp simulations, the IRs, all of the pedals and whatnot. It's great for recording. But 40% of you said that tube amps are still the way to go. 24%, so almost half of that, said transistor amps. And for modeling systems, and I thought the modeling systems would have been a little bit more, 20%. So 20% of you are using Kempers or Axe-Fx or Helix systems or those type of units, which I particularly like because they do have a place, whenever you're playing and you need some additional flexibility. You don't want to spend a fortune buying, a couple of different amps to get the sounds that you want. Those work great. So 20% said amp modeling systems. PC software only 11%, and acoustic guitars only 4%. Wow, it looks like the acoustic guitars are not getting a lot of love these days. What's going on with that? How come? I'm curious to know how many of you guys out there own an acoustic guitar or regularly play one. I gotta say, for me, I have an acoustic guitar. I do play from time to time, but I don't usually spend my time playing acoustic because I just find playing electric guitar and playing with all the gear more fun. But I believe you still have to have an acoustic guitar. But that's just me. So pipe in, guys. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Are the poll results off? In the meantime, I'm going to start saying good morning to the people that are already here. And especially I want to welcome any new faces, if there are any. I know there's a lot of return visitors to the channel, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys supporting the channel. And if there's any new faces that come on board today, I want to say welcome to Addicted to Gear, where we basically support each other with our gear addiction. Maybe not in the right way, by talking us down off the shelf, off the ledge when it comes to buying gear. But it's always a lot of fun to get additional input on gear and advice. And we always have some great advice on our Sunday shows. People ask questions. People give information to other questions that are being asked by some of our members here. So it's all a good family-oriented community, which I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys want to support the channel, as usual, I'm giving a coupon code today, Addicted to Gear. ATG67 is the code if you want to pick up any swag at the bottom of any of my videos. That goes towards, a small part of that goes towards supporting the channel, which I appreciate. And you guys are more than welcome to grab that 10% discount if you're considering picking up anything. We have cups, we have stickers, we have shirts, we have all kinds of interesting things. So let's move on to saying hi to everybody that's already here today. So let's start from the bottom today and we'll work our way backwards. So we have Richard Norton. Hi, Richard. We have BC Rich 581. Cohen's here. Wayne's here. Jimmy's here. Vox Guitars Rock. Nice to see you. Fat Philosopher. He says no acoustic here. He doesn't have an acoustic guitar. Are you considering getting one, Fat Philosopher, or is the acoustic guitar not for you? Just curious. Alan, Quicksilver, Simon is here as well. Christian, Cushman. So there's a lot of familiar faces. Keith is here this morning as well. Simon. So welcome to everyone. The Gospel of Mark as well. Darwin. Welcome to everybody. And I'll go through some of the questions. I'll jump around. I'll try and keep up with the chat, but there's already quite a few comments. So I'll head towards the bottom. If you have a question in particular, just ask it. If I skip it, ask it again. Sometimes I don't. What I notice when I'm watching the playback of the video is that sometimes I just lose track, and there's some great comments that I miss sometimes, and I apologize for that. But definitely I try and get all of the questions answered as much as I can. So today I'm playing or holding the Sir Standard Pro. This guitar, I don't usually play it that often, but today I decided to take it out. And I have a dilemma, and I wanted to get some advice from you guys, and we'll get to that in a couple of minutes, particularly talking about this guitar. But first, I want to get to some of your questions or comments. All right. So that's so Cushman says Telecaster looks sweet. I believe you're referring to this one, I guess, the purple one. We'll get to that in a couple of minutes. Yeah, it's coming along very nicely, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. But it's not done. There's still more work to be done. But we'll talk about that in a few minutes. And if there's a question specifically for me, let me know. There's a question here. I believe it's going to Cohen. The question says, "Hi Cohen, what do you think of the Ibanez J Custom RG 8570?" So I don't know if Cohen's answered that question. I can give you my opinion on that one as well. The J Custom stuff from Ibanez is really, really top notch. The ones that I've tried really play nice, are built very well. Obviously, you're paying premium for them. They're a little bit more expensive, but they're great guitars. If you're into Ibanez guitars, then definitely worth checking out, in my opinion. My very first guitar was an Ibanez, which was a long way away from what they're putting out now. Mine was a Roadstar 2, which you can probably still find now and then somewhere used. The technology that they put into the Ibanez guitars is really mind-boggling. They're probably, Ibanez to me is almost like the tuned type of car that you would see, when people tune up their cars and modify their cars and stuff. Ibanez to me remind me of that, because all of their technology, their bridges, the locking systems, even the cover for their truss rod, they're always tweaking these things. They're always trying to make them better, and they've made a lot of advancements in the technology over the years that I've seen. Even back when I had my Roadstar 2, it had a floating bridge. They weren't using a Floyd. They weren't using a Caller system or anything like that. They had their own proprietary versions of those things, which they made, and they actually made them quite good. The Edge series bridges that they have are very good, I have to say. So they're always tweaking, and I think they're one of the rare companies that do that. A lot of the other companies out there just like to sit on their history. Definitely Gibson, definitely Fender. They're always throwing back to the reissues and the older models and trying to make the new ones look like the old ones, but Ibanez doesn't do that. So a great guitar, in my opinion. Let's move on to some other questions here. I'm just gonna scroll down and give you an opportunity to ask your questions. So Cohen says, I have a soft spot for Ibanez guitars. Pretty sure it's a really nice guitar, though I doubt I'll buy much more guitars. I build them myself these days. What do you think? Cohen definitely has been busy building guitars. He's actually shared some really nice images of some of his builds with me, and he's definitely talented, man. When he builds them, he builds them. I like to put guitars together. I don't necessarily build them from scratch, but Cohen, I think, likes to actually build them from scratch, which is quite a dedication. I don't know if I'd be willing to put in that much time, because I haven't mastered woodworking, and you definitely need to have some serious woodworking chops. So my hat's off to anyone like Cohen who builds his own from scratch. Christian says, hello everyone from Germany. Hi Christian. The Telecaster is an eye catcher. Great, thank you for I'm happy that people like it. we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. I'll showcase where I'm at so far, because I know there's a lot of people wondering when it's going to be done and officially unveiled. It's coming. It's coming, guy. It's coming, guys. Don't worry. The Nye, good morning. Just trying to scroll down quickly to catch up to you guys. Fat Philosopher says, sounds great. Where's the Purple Telecaster? Purple Telecaster's just there. Gospel of Mark, watching from the beach. Nice. I'm jealous, man. Enjoy, enjoy. Did the Habs kick some Maple Leaf butt? You know what? I don't know. I'm not a big hockey fan, believe it or not. I don't even know what's going on with that. So BC Rich says Spark Positive Grid and Fender Micro Headphone Amp. I guess that is your technology of choice at the moment. So Quicksilver's giving us the hockey score update. Says, yep, well they won in overtime and they have now forced Game 7. So there you go. There's your hockey update from someone who knows. So Cohen is saying that he bought an Epiphone Valve Junior off of Reverb. I've seen those amps for a while, and I don't know exactly how they stack up. Give me your opinion, Cohen. Why did you choose that particular Valve Junior amp, and how much did you pay, if you don't mind me asking, off of Reverb? I don't really buy anything off of Reverb. I'm a Reverb virgin. I'm not shy to admit that. I'm hesitant to buy things off Reverb. I don't know. I just find the prices pretty boosted for the stuff that you're getting. So unless you get a really good deal, I don't see the point at this stage anyways, unless I'm missing something. I know some people say that you can often just negotiate from off of Reverb and, but I like to deal in person. I like to check out the stuff before I buy it. And there's a couple of things I want to show you actually as well, because there's a couple of things I'm considering and I need your input. I need your support here, guys. So we'll get to that soon. Quicksilver says Shane is also doing a live stream. That guy, eh? Yeah, Shane's great. If you guys don't know, In the Blues, he's been around for ages. From Australia, and he showcases a lot of great stuff on his channel as well. So if you're interested in adding another good channel to your channel list, check out Shane. Cohen says he uses Amplitude 5, Bias FX 2, have an 11 rack Blackstar HT40 club, so I use a mixture of things. So you have all your bases covered. I'm kind of like you, Cohen. I kind of pick and choose the technology depending on the day and what I'm trying to achieve. But I usually go back to tube amplifiers. So, I'm one, I guess, that fits into that 40% category of just enjoying tube amplifiers. There's just something about the saturation of a tube amp. It's like... So that's probably way too loud. I'm going through, just so you know, I'm going through the Friedman right there. You can see the power light is on, but I'm using an attenuator. I'm attenuating the crap out of it. The sound probably won't sound very good because the 412 cabinet is pointed away from the microphone, and it's very, very laser focused. So if you're standing right in front of it, you get all of the highs. But if you're standing off to the side, you're basically just hearing a lot of lower end, and you lose a lot of the highs. But just to say, for me, nothing beats a tube amp. Simon says, Sure, counterfeit or real guitar. This is a real. It's not a counterfeit. It's a real one. Made in the US. Fat Philosopher says, once I can play live again, I will buy a tube bass breaker. Until then, I'm fine with what I have. The bass breaker amps, the combo or the head are great. I like them. I used to have the 15. The one I was really after was the 30R, but I wasn't able to find that one used. And if I had to choose, I probably would go with the 30R, although 30 watts is very loud. The 15 was already loud, but I like the 30R a little better in terms of the features because it does have two channels as opposed to one channel with switching like the 15. So if you're considering the bass breaker, check that one out. If you can get it, would be the one to get, in my opinion. But you might feel different, maybe have different needs. Don't forget, we're all old farts here. How can I forget? I wake up every day with aches and pains. I was just complaining this morning. Everything hurts. I don't understand. You know, you get to that age where, I don't know, it's like things just go downhill fast. Quicksilver says, I think tube amps are the VHS of the guitar world. A lot of people have been convinced that tube amps are the gold standard of tone. I don't know, man. I do. I feel that way too. I think tubes, like getting that saturation, no matter what you're playing through in terms of a digital or transistor emulation, doesn't give you that harmonic distortion that you're getting through a tube amp. It just doesn't feel the same. You know, it gets close, and there's a lot of people that probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference when you're listening to somebody on stage, whether he's playing through an Axe FX or an amplifier or something like that, but it definitely feels different. So Cohen is expecting his purchase to arrive next week. So give us a little bit of an update once you get it, Cohen. Just curious to get some feedback from you, man. Just jumping down a little bit here. So the reason Cohen purchased that one, he just wanted a small bedroom tube amp that he can mod. The amp is a very mod friendly thing. If it's good as is, it will not be modded. So you're a tweaker, Cohen. You're like me. You're always looking at getting something to sound a little bit better. Interesting. But that particular amp that's probably based on a circuit board, right? I don't think that's hand wired. Obviously, the hand wired stuff is a lot easier to mod, but nowadays, very few of the amps are actually hand wired anymore. Cheers, guys. Just a little sip of water. Oh, yeah. Fits the spot. Okay. The 5-watt Valve Junior is surprisingly loud for 5 watts, especially through a 4x12. A lot of amps, even though they're 5 watts, they're just killer. My dog's snoring. Sorry, guys. She's under the desk here, so you're gonna hear that. But yeah, 5 watts. Just because it's 5 watts, people think, hey, 5 watts is not enough. There's some extremely loud 5-watt amps out there. When I play my Brunetti Plexi, man, and I put it on the 5-watt setting, it's loud. Same goes for the Blackstar that I have. When I put it on the low wattage setting, it's still loud, man. So don't let that fool you. My last guitar was bought from Ali. all-in-one guitars. They haven't raised their prices or shipping prices in 2 years. God bless them. Good. I'm happy to hear that some people out there are not raising the prices because everyone else seems to be. I have a friend right now that I'm trying to help or just coach to help him find a good Strat, because he's in the market for a Strat and he wants to buy a US made Fender. And we're just looking on the used market, but he's more the type of guy that I think would probably want to buy brand new. There's when you're spending that kind of money nowadays, even the used Fenders that I've seen, the US made ones locally, are selling for about $1,500, which I find a little bit expensive. But I guess because of the situation with COVID, maybe people are boosting their prices a little bit. So he's more I think more comfortable buying from a store, and he's not sure which Strat to get. So we're probably gonna take a little road trip together and go to one of the local stores that have a nice selection of Fender guitars and play the heck out of all of them till we find what he likes and what feels good to him. He's been looking and eyeing some Fender Strats for a while, and I think he's getting closer to making that buying decision. So once he has one, I think he's going to be a happy camper. Hey Dan, nice to see you, buddy. Good morning. Quicksilver says the AIO guitars are a little too bling bling for my tastes. Yeah, they're kind of a little bit out there in terms of the finishes. The one I reviewed on my channel had a matching pickguard with the body, and a lot of people don't like that, but that's an easy fix. You could possibly just buy another pickguard and swap that out and put something a little bit more subdued, which would bring the bling factor down a couple of notches. Yeah, William says that he bought a Wolf from AIO. These guys are awesome to deal with for sure. Yeah, check them out. If you guys haven't already checked them out, go to their website. They have a nice selection of guitars that are not that expensive for the specs that they're giving, and they're doing a really nice setup. For those of you who don't know, they actually will ask you, what kind of string gauge you play. They will set up the guitar specifically with that string gauge for you and set up the action. If you're a hard-hitting guitarist where you dig into the strings, they might be able to make the action a little bit higher for you. So they're actually taking the care and building the guitars, or not building the guitars, but setting up the guitars according to the specs that you're going to need. And a lot of people don't do that, especially for more affordable guitars like that. So I like to promote them because I think they're doing really nice stuff there. I haven't tried the Wolf guitar from them, but a lot of people say that it's nice. Fat Philosopher says there was this dude who wanted $2,500 for his Partcaster Strat. Well, good luck. If you can get it, I hope he runs all the way to the bank. Unless there was some really amazing quality parts on that guitar, I wouldn't think that he'd be able to get $2,500 for it. Hey Seth, good morning. Hey Jimmy, how are you, my friend? Jimmy says that Valve Jr. is easy to mod. They give you plenty of room to work with. I've even seen mod kits out there where you can convert it to a Marshall 18 watt amp. That's pretty cool, man. I didn't know that they actually had that they went that far. I mean, heck, I might have to take a look at it. A nice 18 watt Marshall would be pretty cool. If you can get the Valve Jr. for not too much money and mod it with a mod kit that is well documented so you don't electrocute yourself, why not? Try it out. So Bruce says real amp does feel a bit better, but modelers are getting better and closer with every new updates. I agree, Bruce. Don't get me wrong. I like the ability to use modeling technology because a lot of times it's really it's really economical to do so. You know, you have a lot of actual options available through these systems, and they are getting better, no doubt. Every time they release something, like every couple of years, I would say, you know, 2-3 years down the road, the stuff that they're going to be releasing is going to kick the heck out of the stuff that they have now, no doubt. But every time I go back to modeling, after a while, I just swing on back to actual amps. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a snob. I don't know what it is, but I enjoy the sound and the harmonic distortion of a cranked amp. And God knows it's not easy on the ears. Ever since I got the attenuator, I'm enjoying what I have way more. It's a lot more manageable. I'd be right now. My Friedman's, the master on it's probably at I don't know, 5. I'd never be able to play it on 5 in this room normally. It's just going to be too darn loud. But with the attenuator, I can do it. So it's fantastic. Mike up the dog. I want to hear that bass line. I'm surprised you can't hear her. She's a pretty loud snorer. If I stay quiet, you'll hear her. Hey Charles, nice to see you, buddy. Hey Larry. I'm content using the Strymon Iridium through a Nuix Cerberus. Yeah, and you know, the really cool thing about these multi-effects units is specifically when you're gigging. You know, it's a lot easier just to bring a unit with everything in one box and play it and just carry it with you instead of having to carry a pedal board, your guitar, your cables, you know, a bag full of miscellaneous stuff, an amp. You know, it's way easier. The thing that I struggle with, and maybe you guys have found a solution for, is just replicating the sound that you're getting, let's say at home, when you gig out. Because I always struggle with that. I feel that it sounds great here, you know, when I set up my sounds, but when you get to a different location, fitting into the mix properly is a challenge, and you're always tweaking, and it's just, I'm fed up of that. And that's why when I take an amp, I just bring the amp, you know, bring the head unit, plug it into the cabinet that's there, plug into my pedal board, and I know I'm gonna get the same sound. You know, it's a lot more reproducible in my opinion. That's maybe just me, but that's what I've discovered anyways. So let's see here. What other questions do we have? I'm just scrolling. Mark, I still use my SS Fender Sidekick amp, solid state, from 1985 as a practice amp, very loud and still works perfectly. I'm not saying they're not great. There's nothing wrong with that technology, Dan. I played through a PV Bandit that I purchased. Was a great sounding amp, totally transistor. Sounded great, was loud, it had a nice drive channel on it as well. For the money, you can't beat them, you know. But again, the solid state, to me, there's something missing in terms of the harmonic content. They just don't sound as warm. They don't clip the same way. Again, I might just be a snob when it comes to amps and stuff. So take what I say with a grain of salt, guys. I'm just giving you my perspective. Seth says 1,500 for a really nice USA Strat is about the going rate in California. But that are you saying 1,005 new or used? Because I'm talking 1,005 Canadian used. Brand new, they're closer to 2Gs now. Do you guys think 130 euros is overpaid for the amp? I'm very bad when it comes to the value of money. I don't know. I couldn't say, Cohen. I really don't know what those amps sell for on the used market. I don't see them that often. But maybe some others here that have purchased one of those amps could chime in. Manny says he's heard Fender Player Series guitars are good bang for the buck. The only way to know, and this is the advice I give to all of my friends, is just you gotta play them. Because, you know, my friend he doesn't currently have a Strat. So he's going to a Strat from another type of guitar that is not exactly the same as a Strat. So definitely it's gonna feel a little awkward to him at first. And, you know, I'm comfortable with different radiuses on my guitars because I have so many different ones and they all have, you know, a different carve, a different radius. So I adapt a little easier because I'm used to that. But sometimes when you've been playing a guitar for a long time, one specific guitar, and then you have to adapt to another one, it could be a little bit weird. So I would say the best thing is for him to try the guitars and just basically see what radius and what carve feels best in his hands. The rest of the Strat is pretty much the same. I mean, the body's going to feel the same. Sure, you could have different pickups and stuff. But I mean, overall, this end of the Strat is kind of pretty static. Whereas the neck is where it will either make or break how you feel about that guitar. Quicksilver says, I saw their PRS copy, but the abalone trapezoid inlays are a turnoff. Okay, so I think we're still talking about AIO guitar. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't seen the PRS copy. William says, my Wolf plays as good as any of my more expensive guitars other than the US PRS, plus look great. Only thing is I'm not wild about the pups, but that's an easy fix. Yeah, man, don't let the pickups stop you if the guitar feels right. I think my next guitar will be a FGN Japanese quality at a good price. There's nothing wrong with Japanese quality, man, if you can get a good one. The only issue is trying to find one local. If you're willing to risk buying something that you haven't already seen in real life, then go for it. Seth says, yep, it's worth it. Some folks balk at 1,250 plus for one of my customs, but they are crafted in California, Fender parts, plect, etc. You know, there's something about the care and attention of building a guitar. I know because, you know, I've built a couple of Partcaster guitars myself. I haven't built a specific guitar from scratch, but I know how much time and effort it takes to get it right and to get it the way you want it to be. So I agree with Seth. I think, you know, $1,200 for the amount of time it takes to put something quality together is reasonable. You know, if you're willing to spend that money to get something built specifically to your specs. William says, I own an FGN Telecaster and it's really nice. Good choice. Yeah, Fat Philosopher agrees. He says that your guitars are only 1,250 American made. Dude, that's a steal. I guess it's all relative, man. It depends on what you're looking at in your neck of the woods. The pricing is not always the same. Some people in different parts of the world are paying quite a bit more. I'd like to try out the modeler of the deluxe reverb amp that Fender has out. Forget the name of it. You're talking about the reverb, the transistor version of the reverb, the deluxe. A lot of people like that one too. A lot of people say that one's really nice and it's light. And as far as a combo goes, it's an interesting choice. Take it easy, Kush, man. See you soon, man. Charles says, too many choices with modeling amps. I prefer working with what the amp can do and going from there. You don't get that with a modeling amp. Simpler is better. Well, I tend to agree with that. I tend to agree. Option paralysis is a real thing. It's happened to me where I've spent countless hours trying to get a unit to sound like my amp does, and to get the sounds that I'm hearing in the room with my amp and my pedals. Countless hours trying to get it just right, and it can drive you crazy. It really can. If you're like me and you're very specific about the sounds you want to get, it can drive you nuts. And that's the time that you're dedicating to getting the sound that you can already get with an amp. And you're never going to get that time back, and you can spend that time practicing. That'll improve your tone tenfold more than just tweaking the knobs on a unit, I think. And one of the great things about the way real amps work is that they interact with your pedals differently. So, a lot of people will say like, oh, I bought myself a series of pedals. Some work well, some don't. I agree with that. I think if you put pedals in front of a specific amp, they're going to react in a certain way. And that combination you might like or not like. But change the amp and put the same pedals in front of a different amp. All of a sudden, that pedal that you thought was so-so is actually quite good. And with a different amp, shines. I've experienced that many times where I was about to sell some specific pedal because I wasn't bonding with it. Put it in front of another amp and it sounds glorious. And that's sometimes why I hesitate to sell my pedals, because I know that at a certain point I'm going to put it in front of something that's going to sound fantastic, and then I'm going to be looking for that one again. So it's just the craziness of being a stickler for sound. Here's another question for you guys. This is a quick question. What do you guys, and be honest, okay? How many guitars do you think it would take for somebody to become a guitar snob? Like, I believe people turn into guitar snobs or cork sniffers or whatever you want to refer to them as. How many guitars do you think it takes for somebody to all of a sudden now be very, very picky about all the little innuendos of their guitar? Would it be one guitar, two guitars, 3, 10? What do you think it would be? Because I know right now I'm very specific about the stuff that I like to play. It doesn't necessarily mean that more expensive amplifiers are the ones that I like, but I definitely know what I like. So how many guitars? Be honest. I'm going to wait for you guys to answer that one. And I'm going to look at a couple of other questions in the meantime. Hey, good morning, Rico. Fender Tone Master is the transistor deluxe version. Exactly, Bruce. Thanks. Fat Philosopher says depends on how much he pays per guitar. Do you think the price is really the determining factor of whether or not you're a guitar snob? I think honestly, I think if you're like overpaying for your first guitar, not overpaying, but if you're paying like, maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I'm totally off. I was about to say like, if your first guitar is a really expensive guitar, like let's say you're paying $3,000, $2,500, $3,000, $4,000 for your first guitar, maybe you're already a guitar snob. I don't know. I don't know too many people that have purchased for their first guitar a guitar above, let's say, $3,000. But I'm sure it happens, right? So in that case, would you be a guitar snob, or would you just be very diligent because you're dropping a truckload of cash on your first guitar purchase and you want to make sure it's right for you? I mean, it's a fine line, right? And what do you know? What how do we actually qualify somebody as being a guitar snob? What would be the determining factors of be? How can you say this guy is officially a guitar snob? Or a cork sniffer? Like I'm thinking myself. I'm thinking I probably am a guitar snob because, over the years I've accumulated a nice collection and I know what I like, I know what I don't like. And, if I walk into a music store and I look at a guitar off the shelf and it's $2,400 and I play it and I'm like, nah, this like doesn't feel right to me or doesn't play as nice as XYZ guitar that I have at home, does that make me a guitar snob? I know some people that are average guitar players, very average. I don't consider myself a professional player either, so don't get me wrong, guys. There's a lot of people that play way better than I do, but I know some people that play way worse than I do, and are collecting some amazing quality guitars, acoustic guitars, Martins that are worth $5,000-$6,000. They're buying them up, and if they have the money, God bless them. That's great, but they're buying specific guitars, very expensive guitars, and not necessarily. I don't know. I would consider it's a really tricky question. I'm trying to be diplomatic about it. So let me hear what you guys have to say about that. I mean, this is to me, it's an interesting topic. Someone who won't play a Squire. I like that. Yeah, that would definitely be a qualification, I think. Yeah. Honestly. I think shunning any guitar before you actually play the guitar because it's affordable, that probably would be a criteria for being a guitar snob. And like, okay, I'm holding a guitar here that's like pretty expensive, so don't judge me, guys. But I have some guitars like right here, the one behind my Telecaster, that's under $200, and it's probably one of my favorite guitars out of a lot of more expensive guitars here. I like Squires. I've been saying how much I like Squires in the past. In my old videos, I've been talking about that. So in that regard, I wouldn't say, like, I won't shun a guitar just because of the price or the name per se. So I have that going for me at least. Hey, Paul, welcome, man. You thought it was Monday. Aren't you happy it's still Sunday? Vox says, my wife bought me my dream guitar. I've always wanted a Gibson Les Paul. I actually prefer my Squire VM70 Strat. I've heard this so many times, where guys end up buying like a really expensive guitar because of the people that they hear on social media. It could be other YouTubers that are to blame, or the hype being put out by companies. Um, you can buy yourself a custom shop Strat or something from Fender, and then they end up playing something like a Squire and like it more. It's like, then it's hard to bite your tongue and admit it, because after you spend like $4,000 or $5,000 on a Strat, coming out and admitting that a very budget friendly guitar is better, it doesn't usually happen unless you're a really honest person. The Squire Classic Vibe stuff is great. I like it. I really enjoyed the Telecaster that I had that was a Classic Vibe. I played it almost exclusively for a while, and I have a 52 reissue, which is a really nice guitar, but I didn't play it as much. And I did a video on that, guys. If you go back to my old videos, you'll see I did a comparison on that. I don't know how many years it is now. I got to go back and check. But a lot of people that listened to the Squire and listened to the 52 reissue in a blind test, they liked the Squire more. Like, way more people like the Squire more. Once you take the brand out of the scenario and really just play something and you listen to it with your ears, I mean, obviously there's the aspect of not being able to feel what you're playing. Like if I'm demoing something, you can hear what it's like, but you can't really feel what the guitar feels like. So there's always that aspect of things. Obviously, the feel is a huge part in the selection of a guitar. I'll give you a perfect example. This guitar I've had for numerous years. It's one of my favorite feeling necks. I mean, these guitars, I've said it over and over again, guys. The Suhrs make fantastic necks. Really great. If they would only sell necks separately, I'd buy a bunch of these necks for my guitars because they're great. But by the same token, I never really bonded with this guitar because of the HSS configuration. I'm not a HSS guy. I'm either single coils or humbuckers. And when I go to HSS, I just don't bond with them because I find that the sound really changes too much between the humbucker and the single coil. And I haven't found a set that plays nice in all the different pickup positions. So I've considered selling this guitar, and I've always jumped back and forth because when I play it, I love the neck, but I'm not crazy about the sound. I've played around with the pickups. I've even gotten to the point where I contacted Suhr. I wanted them to send me another pick guard so I could put in 2 humbuckers in here instead of a humbucker and single coils. And I think if I end up keeping this guitar, I'm probably going to do that. I'm probably going to mod it and just put another humbucker in the neck and be done with it. Because I just, I've been wasting time not playing this guitar because of that. So that is one of the options, and just all that to say that, basically you can have a really nice guitar and still not enjoy it, and if I go to another guitar, say a Squire Contemporary that I have back there, it's 2 humbuckers and I like it, and it plays nice, but it's the neck on this guitar, so again, I don't know if that makes me a snob or not, but it's just things that I've been struggling with, and I think a lot of other people have been dealing with the same situations. Seth says, sometimes at the shop I'll have a Squire that I had set up perfectly hanging on the wall just so people will pick it up and play it and see how amazing the Squire can play once it's set up properly. 100% agree. If a guitar is set up properly, it makes a tremendous difference. And this is one of the things that I see over and over again when I go into a guitar shop with a friend of mine, right? And we're just trying out guitars. And, he'll pick up a guitar and it looks like a really nice guitar and it plays like garbage because the relief is off, They haven't probably changed the strings and who knows how long. The action is too high. And a beautiful guitar is overlooked because people are like, nah, it doesn't play good. It doesn't play well. You know, if I look at that guitar, I take all of that into consideration, and I know how to set up my guitars the way I like them to be. So I won't overlook it. You know, I give it a second chance. But a lot of people that, they'll just go on to the next one, because it's not set up properly. And if you take a really expensive guitar that has not been set up properly, and the next guitar you pick up is a Squire that has been set up properly, you're gonna grab the Squire. I'm telling you. You really will. Yeah, I agree, Jimmy. If somebody's putting down others because of what they play, I would consider that also to be a very clear indication that you are a guitar snob. Because you were playing an 80s Kramer and a PV amp and someone put you down. Yeah, that would qualify for me, for sure. Definitely. I had a fellow come over to my place. I was selling something. It was an amp, and he came over and he wanted to try the amp before he purchased it. And he came on over with his Gibson Les Paul reissue and played the amp. So after he played the amp, I offered him one of my other guitars. I said, "Here, try out this one. Just tell me what your opinion is." And I know it's a great guitar. And I tried his guitar as well. We kind of swapped. And, he took mine and I played his. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm saying, I don't see the difference. Like, the guitar is a nice guitar, but I wouldn't pay extra for it because it feels exactly like all the other ones that I've picked up, from Gibson. And he played mine and he said, he gave it back and he's like, "No, it feels cheap." Anyways, you have to respect their opinions. But, again, I think when you're buying with a particular price tag in mind, a particular brand in mind, it's kind of hard to get away from that sometimes and put things into perspective. Hey Chris, nice to see you, buddy, all the way from Australia. Man, it's late for you. Thanks for tuning in. So once again, guys, for the latecomers, I know we have some new faces. Latecomers, our Sunday show is all about supporting people with gear addiction, and we're talking about different things here today. In particular, we're talking about whether what would you consider the criteria or the characteristics of somebody who is a guitar snob, and how many guitars does it take before you consider yourself a guitar snob, right? And at the same time, if you guys are new here and you want to support the channel, there's always the option of buying some Addicted to Gear swag. If you use the coupon code ATG67, you will get a 10% discount when you purchase anything today only. So you can pick up a cup, a mug, a t-shirt, a sticker, whatever you want, and it actually helps the channel. So I just wanted to put that in there in case the newcomers are not aware of how it works. So Doug says, "No, Tony, it means you like quality. In 2013, I purchased a Gibson Standard Premium AAA Flame, but I had been waiting 50 years and been playing and played every day. Love it." Yeah, man, look, I like Gibsons. I hate Gibsons, I have a few Gibsons, and for me, it's a love-hate relationship. I mean, I like the Gibson guitars. I don't like what Gibson is doing in terms of their pricing. It's one of those things, right? But I believe everybody should have a Telecaster, a Stratocaster, and a Gibson style guitar, as well as a PRS. Those are the ones that I like and I think are really good quality. There's a bunch of other ones that are good too. I'm not going to put those down, but they're great. They're great guitars. I just wish the pricing structure would be a little bit better. And Fat Philosopher here says he's getting a Danish purple Telecaster classic vibe from Andertons. Won't be in stock till January. You know, a lot of people have gotten the bug for the purple Telecasters. I know some people that have received the purple Telecaster classic vibe. Some good feedback, some not so good feedback. Hopefully the one you get will be good. I think a lot of people are just influenced by Danish Pete. I know I was. Actually, let me talk about that guitar a little bit, because I know we brought it up at the beginning of the show and we kind of forgot about it, and I've already been talking for an hour. So I think it's time. Let me just let me just take that guitar 1 second. I don't know if it's in tune or not, but yeah, it's tuned. Seems to be in tune. All right, so guys, you guys, you know, you've been asking me about this purple Telecaster. This is the build I'm making. As you can see, it's not finished. It doesn't have the string tree. There's no decal on it. I've put it together. This is kind of the rough fit that I like to do before I actually finalize my guitars. There's a few things that I still need to do under the hood, but basically this is the purple, I don't know if you can see it there. This is the purple Telecaster that I've been working on. So I'll give you the specs on it so you can understand what I've done to it so far. This one was based on, of course, Danish Pete's guitar. I saw that purple Telecaster, that road-worn or relic Telecaster, and I wanted something like that. Basically, I would never be able to get a custom shop Telecaster like that at a reasonable price. So basically, I decided to build my own. Yeah, it might look blue on your screen, but it's actually purple sparkle. There's some pictures I posted on my Instagram outside. You can tell the rendition of the color in with this camera is not the greatest. So basically, what I did is I got parts from a whole bunch of suppliers, and I'll explain to you what I did. So the body is pine. I went with pine because I wanted it to relic. I would never usually go with pine because I know it's soft, but definitely the pine will ding very easily. And that negative thing is actually a good thing if you're looking at making a relic. So the pine body is a 100-year-old reclaimed pine that I got from Great Lakes Custom Color. They actually will supply you with a body if you want. So I got that from them. I got the initial components. Well, not components. I got the initial supplies from them. So I got the sanding sealer, the primer, and all that kind of stuff. They actually tried to match the purple for me, and the purple that they sent was not the right purple. You can see here, this purple is this purple. See? And this is the purple that I got from Great Lakes. So it wasn't a perfect match. So I reached out to Oxford Supply, and they actually mixed the purple sparkle for me. And I believe it's called Royal Purple. So if anybody wants to get this particular color, you can get it from them. All right. So basically that's what I used on this guitar. Now I painted the guitar body. It took me forever. I have still not actually, this is not wet sanded. This is just painted. Okay, so there's still some wet sanding for me to do here, but I wanted to put the guitar together first to make sure everything worked before I actually wet sand it. So I'm actually going to take this apart and do the wet sanding and then put it back together again. I know it's counterproductive, but that's the way I like to do it. So that's basically the story about the guitar body. I wanted this guitar to be a little bit different because I wanted it to be my own. So I ended up going with, you can see here the switch. I'll do a full review on this eventually, but the switch is at an angle. This is just one thing I like on the Telecasters, to have the switch here. So the switch plate is actually a little bit different. The circuit within the guitar is actually a circuit from Gun Street, and this is the review I did, just the last review on. It's a 4-way circuit, and it has a little bit something a little special. It's a 4-way instead of 3, so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Normally a Telecaster is just 3, and what it is you have the bridge and the neck, then you have the neck out of phase, neck and bridge out of phase. And then it also has, there's a push-pull, so that will give you the out of phase. And it also has a treble bleed, so when you roll back the volume, things stay clear. So that's what I wanted to do there. The other hardware, the bridge is from Solo Music. I have locking tuners on it, also from Solo Music. And the rest of it is pretty much, Telecaster. The neck has a little bit of a modern feel to it. The frets are not thin, they're a little bit wider. And the radius is a 9.5. So, I wanted it to be different, but my own. And so this is it. This is what I've put together so far. Honestly, a lot of you guys have asked whether or not I should go with a black pick guard or a cream color pick guard. A lot of you guys have said I should go with black. I still think the cream looks better, in my opinion. I don't know, man. What do you guys think? It's hard to say. What do you guys think? Cream or black? Because I might just opt for cream at the end of it. Can you see that? Don't know. Anyways, the other cool thing about this build is the pickups. These are pickups that I got from Peg City. These are Peg City TC204 Telecaster pickups. And the interesting thing with these pickups, other than, of course, they have the raw nickel cover, which I love. Both of these pickups are hybrid magnets. So the E, A, and D magnet on the pickup are A5, and the GBE are A2. Both of them are like that. So you get some really nice tones out of it. It has a lot of punch. The neck is 8.6. The bridge is 8.6. The neck is 7.6. You get a lot of really nice punch from these pickups. I like them a lot, and it really works well with the circuit that I have in here. So, it's got a lot of bite, which I like, and I like the clarity. I like to have a good bottom end. I like my Telecasters to sound like P90s almost. I like it to fit right between a Strat and a Les Paul as much as possible. So what do you guys think about the pickguard? Larry still says black. Chris says both look great, but cream makes it look vintage. Yeah, exactly, man. That's exactly it. The black makes it look modern. And to be honest with you, I need the black pickguard. I'm building another Telecaster that's a butterscotch. And for butterscotch, you need to have black. I like the vintage vibe. I think I'm going to probably end up going with the cream. I know a lot of you guys are going to not like me for that. A lot of people say black. I know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I'll decide. I have to decide. But I guess you guys like the modern look of black. The other thing I need to do under the hood, which I always do, that hasn't been done, I will copper shield both pickup cavities with copper tape. So I'm going to do that. The back of the pickguard doesn't have any shielding. Like you can see this one, same as this one, no shielding. So I usually put a little bit of shielding there. Not that it makes a huge difference, but whatever. I like to do that. Also in here. And one of the other things that I haven't done yet, which is really critical, when you have a pickup set that you're doing a modded circuit for, like this has out of phase, the neck pickup has to be a 3-wire pickup. And normally the Telecaster pickups are only 2-wire, like this one. So I have to do a slight mod where I have to add a 3rd wire and then wire it to the actual circuit so that I don't have any noise issues. It's a little bit tricky, but it's not that hard. So that still needs to be done as well. Once all of that's done, we're good to go. The hardest thing about taking this guitar apart again to do the wet sanding is getting the stupid ferrules out. These guys here, once they go in, they're very hard to pull out. And I always worry about pulling them out because I don't want to damage the paint. So I have to either do that very carefully. Otherwise, I don't wet sand it, leave it as is, and just call it a day. And that'll add to the look of the relic type feel that it has when it's not 100% finished. But that's where I'm at so far, guys. Yeah, Cowtown says white goes better with the maple neck. Seth says mustard yellow. I don't know, everybody has a different point of view on that, but I think most people like the black better. At the end of the day, guys, it's my guitar, so I have the final choice, right? But I went with you guys so far with the black, so we'll see what happens, whether or not I keep it black or not. The other thing I wanted to say is that the body, being pine, is quite a bit lighter. And that's one of the things that I aim for all of my guitars, is not to be so heavy. I picked up another guitar after playing this one that I have in the collection. I'm like, oh man, this is heavy. The lightest guitar that I have in the collection so far, by far, is the EVH guitar that I put together the other day. I'll grab that one. This guitar is amazing, guys. Now I showed this one last week, so I don't want to talk about it too much, but I still can't get over the feel of it because it's so light. Paulownia wood. If you guys are looking at building a light guitar, Paulownia wood is what you need. It's just extremely... It's so light, it plays beautifully. I love it. It came out so nice. I still didn't put the cover on the back. I just might leave it off because it's rock and roll. And I'm telling you, this thing is like so light. I wouldn't hesitate getting another Polonia wood body for a build. It's just so much easier on the back. It really is. No, that's the great thing, Rico. It doesn't dive. It doesn't dive because even this one doesn't dive. You know, this one is Polonia. Like, I think overall, like, yeah, you put it on your lap. Obviously, you know, you're gonna get a little bit of. It's hard for me to keep it in place, but without dropping it. But it doesn't feel like it's gonna take a dive. Like some of the. A guitar that I played like that, I think it was an SG or something, that felt like that at one point. It just went every time you would play it. This one doesn't really do that. I gotta build another one. Yeah, I really do like those PRS SE1s with the P90s. Yeah, I was eyeing one of those recently. The only reason I didn't buy that one was it was a natural color, and it wasn't like you can see the wood, and the wood wasn't matched really nicely, so you can see the glue joint. It's too bad because I really like those. I don't have a video of the build process for this guitar. I have some shots. I'm going to be putting the video on this guitar up this week, probably tomorrow or something. And I show some behind the scenes shots of the body when it was taken apart and when it was sanded down and while I was painting it and stuff like that. That's as far as I got with the build process because it's just too time consuming. I don't like to have my video equipment in the room when I'm doing sanding and painting because it could scratch the lenses and gets everything dirty. So I didn't really do that. But if any of you need to have any information, let me know. I'm happy to share. I agree. The SGs, I've never been a fan of the SGs much. But lately I've been warming up to them just because I don't have one. And I felt it'd be cool to maybe have one in the collection. But the SGs, they definitely have a weird feel to them because the body is so thin. The neck feels longer. So it's hard to, I think, get used to that feel. If you're typically playing Gibson, short scale length type thing. Rico says, I waited 7 months for my EVH Frankie, only had it for 24 hours, returned it to Sweetwater for free, plec setup, frets were not level, frustrating. Yeah, man, that is frustrating. So now that you have it back and it's been plecked and everything's set up, how do you like it? Larry says you should put a Vigatrem on the EVH. If I had another one, I would. They're pretty expensive. I don't want to be putting them on all the guitars. The reason why I didn't put it on this one, well, is mainly because I don't have another one. But I mean, this build is extremely budget, but it really plays nice. And to be honest with you, I don't really use the trem all that much. So, for that reason, I just didn't go with it. But if I can get my hands on another Vega Trem for a decent price, I'll consider putting that one in, or maybe just using an equivalent. I think everybody needs a one pickup guitar. It's just a lot of fun to play. I agree with the comfort aspect of the Strats. I think the Strat body, to me, is the most comfortable. You know, I like Les Paul style guitars, but they're not the most comfortable to play. I find that the Strat style bodies are really, you know, with the carves and everything, they're probably one of the more comfortable guitars to play. PRS too. I have to say the PRS guitars are pretty comfortable as well. Um, 57 pickups are very good. Tried once. I love 57 classics are one of my favorite pickups. I love the 57s. I have 57 classics in my 335 and there's something really nice about those. They just have a really nice creamy breakup. Strats remind me of a curvy woman, best body shape. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's true. Isn't it? Problem with Gibson is not the pups. I just think they lack a bit in the playability department compared to Strats. You know, Jimmy Page once said that somebody had told him, like, why do you play a Les Paul? Like, why are you fighting the guitar? You know, it's true. I find Les Pauls are not as, ergonomically speaking, they're not as easy to play as Strats are. I think it's also the fact of like where the bridge is and just how the hand sits. The fact that it doesn't have a carve, you know, your arm is a little bit further out. It doesn't necessarily sit as close to the body because of doesn't have the tummy tuck, and you know, little things like that make a big difference. PRS needs arm comfort cuts. Same goes for Schecters. I don't think they will ever do that, or maybe, well, I mean, they have the Silver Sky, right? If you want to have something that's comfortable, except you have to pay $4,500 for it. I don't think they're gonna put comfort cuts in their core line guitars because of the carve, the way it's made, not compatible. But who knows? Maybe they'll figure something out. Rico says, I need your advice. Want to replace my Firefly LP pickups with chrome vintage sounding humbuckers. What is your advice? Rico, it depends on the budget that you have. Do you really want to get something like super nice, or do you want to get something budget? Considering it's going into a Firefly, possibly you want to keep the price affordable. If you're looking for affordable pickups, I would say maybe you want to try the Iron Gear Tesla Sharks if you want to get something interesting. I like those. I put those into my Tokai, which is there. Here, I'll grab it for you. I think I have it here. 1 second. You're lucky. I have it on the stand. It's not always on the stand, but now it's on the stand, so I might as well show you. So this guitar, if you go back to my reviews, I changed the pickups on this guitar, and I upgraded them to, let me just tune up the guitar a little bit. I upgraded them to Tesla Shark pickups from Iron Gear. Of course, these have gold covers, but I know you can get them in different combinations. So if your guitar obviously doesn't need gold covers, you can buy different ones. And just out of coincidence, the pickups that came out of this guitar is what you heard in the EVH tribute guitar that I was just holding. So the original pickups, I took the gold covers off and I put into that guitar, which I think still sound good. Those pickups had that pickup. The original ones were Goto, and they were ceramic. These are not ceramic. So I don't know if you. So I don't know if you can hear that or not, but they sound pretty good to me. They sound nice and warm, and they're not extremely expensive. Rico, I don't remember how much I paid these. They're not extremely expensive. You can check them out on the Iron Gear website. It depends on where you're located, but they're not that expensive. Cool Tunes wants to know thoughts on your Blackstar. Did you sell it? No, I didn't sell it. You just can't see it. It's behind the cabinet there. You can see the corner of it right there. It's just hidden, so you can't see it, but it's back there. I'm just trying to keep things like keep the gear not all over the place, so I can actually have room to work. But it's still back there. To be honest, I haven't been playing it as much since I got the Marshall. Since I got the Marshall head, that guy is a killer. Obviously, the sound overlaps. So since I got the Marshall, I've been playing the heck out of the Marshall because I'm still in the honeymoon phase. But the Blackstar is nice. It's definitely a great grab and go combo if you don't want to carry a head, or if you don't have access to a cabinet where you're going and you want to get that Marshall sound, then the Blackstar will definitely do that for you. Fat Philosopher's looking for an Ibanez S series, but they just don't make lefties anymore. Yeah, I didn't realize that lefties were hard to find. Jeff says Iron Gears are great pickups. Tesla Shark and Blues engines in particular, I put them in my PRS. Yeah, they get a lot of people like those pickups. They get good reviews. Daryl Braun recently listed his 5 favorite guitars of all time. 3 were Japanese made and no Gibsons. Not surprised. Not surprised. This is actually a Japanese guitar. This Tokai is a Japanese version. It's not written anywhere, but it is. It's actually under here. It is written, but a lot of people don't know that. Rico, my pleasure. Yeah, they're not that expensive. I mean, for a set, about $120 or so. Yeah, they're worth it. I think they're good quality. Check out some of the other models, but definitely the Tesla Shark, to me, sound good. I like them. You get the idea. Not all SGs are long like that. Look at where the neck meets the pickup. The one with the spacers are longer. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Tokai put stickers saying made in Korea on their Korea line. Nah, yeah, they do. They do. There's also other ways you can tell. Namely, the Korean-made Tokais have 3 screws instead of 2, so the actual cover here is different. That's one way you can tell. You can actually look also underneath the hood here. There's some telltale signs. Usually the hardware, when you take out the tail piece here, underneath of that, it usually says made in Japan. But it's not always easy to tell. Some people will get fooled into buying Korean-made Tokais thinking they're Japanese-made, but they're not. The other one, I think I have it here. The other Tokai that is also made in Japan that I like a lot is this one. This guy right over here. Yeah, this one's also a Japanese one. Pretty simple looking. I mean, no crazy flame on it or anything like that. You know, some are, but you can see also has the two screws here. You can see the back. This one, does this one say made in Japan? Yes, it does. You can't see it. It's very hard to see, but it's stamped made in Japan right here. It's so dark you won't be able to see it, but they don't stamp all of them. The other one is black, so you won't really see it, but it is. The Tokai stuff is great, honestly. I play this guitar more than my Gibson. And I did upgrade the pickups on it, however. Actually, let me explain that. When I bought the guitar, the pickups had been changed, but I liked the pickup so much that I looked at who made the pickup and I ordered another set. The bridge and the neck were different, and I got the same winder to make me a nice neck pickup, and love it. It definitely has more highs. A lot more bite on this one. These pickups are made by High Order Pickups. He a very, I would say, unknown winder, but he makes amazing pickups. Love these guys, and he'll wind whatever you need. Check out his website, highorderpickups.com. Beautiful. AliExpress is advertising Duncan pickups on their site for like $110 for the pair. Pretty sure they must be counterfeit. I would avoid AliExpress like the plague for anything that you need to be authentic. I don't think anything on AliExpress is authentic. Even if they're showing you pictures that look like the real thing, most of the time you're going to get something that is not. So if you really want to get Duncan pickups, buy them either new or get them from somebody that you know is a reputable dealer, even if they're just used or whatever, but just make sure you don't get them from AliExpress. Seth is starting to wind his own pickups very soon. Researching and designing now, looking towards neck 6222 winds around 6.5 ohm, middle 7222, bridge 8222, about 8.5. Interesting, Seth. Hey, let me know when you have a couple of winds done. I'd be interested in checking them out. William wants to put a set of Thornbuckers in his S2. Yeah, Thornbuckers seem to be getting a good reviews all around. It's a good option. Check out the the pickups from Peg City as well. They have a really nice set. I put a set of Peg City pickups in another guitar. Since I'm doing the round robin with my guitars, I'll grab that one as well. So this one, I put in a set of pickups from Peg City in this one here. These are two-stroke pickups, they're called. A little bit more modern sounding. Pretty affordable too. Made in Canada. So for those of you that are in Canada and you're looking for a good deal on pickups, you might want to check them out. Just gonna tune up here because the guitar has been in the stand for a while, and usually a lot of clarity with these ones. A lot of clarity. Nice bite. They sound good too. I think that the neck pickup is a little bit darker. The cool thing about these pickups, the neck does have a lot of bass, but when you dig in, still has bite. So anyways, these are the Peg City pickups that I put into this guitar, the two-stroke. Always a good option as well. So yeah, Seth has been a regular here, and he's employed at SF Guitar Works, and I'm building my own personal side company, Seth Presley Custom Guitars, with the guidance and the wisdom of SF Guitar Works. So keep your eye open for him, and give him a shout if you have any questions relating to guitars, or if you need a guitar plecked or something like that. Seth will be able to help you out. William says, I've been tempted to buy a set just to have around. Not sure which guitar I'd put them in, but having a good path around isn't a bad idea. Thanks, Seth. I appreciate that, man. The blues engines are good. A lot of people do like the blues engines as well. I think I tried them at one point. I did a combo set. I don't remember which guitar I put them in. Yeah, man. Show number 67 already? Nuts. One of the other sets I want to talk about, because you guys are talking about the 5708s, which are the pickups they put in the PRS. Here, let me just show you one more guitar. This one. So this is the PRS SE that I spoke about, I think, a couple of times. This is the Korean made, right? This is a guitar that I purchased because I liked the CE245 so much. that when this one popped up, I wanted to grab it. Now I like the PRS guitars a lot. The only thing I don't like too much about the PRS guitars are the pickups. I find that their pickups generally haven't really caught up to the quality that they're putting out on their guitars. The 5208s are nice, but I don't know, some of them that they're coming out with don't really do it for me. But so I took this guitar and I upgraded the pickups. Now these pickups here, I wanted to actually showcase in a review video as well. These pickups are interesting. They're Anthem pickups made by Porter, but they're the Anthem Plus. If you go back in my videos, you'll see the Anthem pickups that I have in another guitar, and they sounded really, really good. But they came out with an Anthem Plus, which is a little different, and I decided to put the pickups in this guitar. Check that out, man. The clarity is crazy. I'm sure it doesn't sound good on the actual mic here because it's probably clipping like crazy, but they really have a nice clarity. And I really like the match. These pickups are really matching so nicely with this guitar. And they work really well in the in-between. Like I find the bridge has a lot more clarity and bite. The middle pickup has a nice combination of both the bottom and the bite. You can still hear some of the little quack on the middle position, and then it fills out nicely in the bridge, in the neck position. So another great set. I mean, there's so many great sets of pickups out there, guys. It's hard to limit yourself just to one. Just when you feel that you found the right one, there's other pickups that match so nicely with certain guitars, and you really do have to match it to your guitar. They don't all sound great in all the guitars. You could take a pickup combination that might sound really good in this guitar and put it into something else, and it's not as nice. But I love this guitar. Another PRS, beautiful guitar, well made. I'm glad I got it. And you don't have to go crazy. You don't necessarily have to get a $4,000 PRS to scratch that itch. These SEs are great value. Two more to 6. Fat Philosopher says 2 more shows to 69. Yeah, 2 more shows. We're gonna get there. Which company are the Blues engines? Those are also the same company that makes the Tesla Sharks, right? Iron Gear is the name of the company. Hey, thanks, Seth. Thanks for the hearts. I feel the love. Tony, are the Korean-made OEM Duncans made to be only installed on Asian-made guitars? Some do make it to the black market. They are indeed perfect clones and right down to the American-made wire. Yeah, the thing is, you don't know which ones are the good ones and which ones are not, right? So you got to take a chance and try them. That's the only thing that I don't like, is like you might be throwing away some money thinking you're saving 20% or something and end up with duds, you know? Oh, I'm sure there's a few pickups I haven't tried yet, Vox Guitars Rock. I'm sure there are. Heck, I might need to start winding my own pickups, because all these pickups are, you know, trying all these different pickups is costing me a fortune. I might as well roll my own. Jeff says, I was all for selling the Les Paul, but the pickup swap made it a keeper. I sold the Gibson pickups and got 80% of the cost of the Thornbuckers back. Yeah, this is something that I've done many times too. I had a pair of Burstbucker pickups in one of my Les Pauls, and I don't like Burstbuckers, so I ended up selling them. I got decent money for those pickups, and I put in another set that I feel were better. So yeah, doing that is definitely worthwhile. So now you have a beautiful set of Thornbuckers in your Gibson Les Paul that you can rock, and you can keep your guitar. I've done that too. So many times I've come close to selling a guitar, swap out the pickups, and it's a keeper. Just traded off my 245 SE, got a classic vibe Strat with a beautiful Wormouth neck, only thinking about swapping the neck for the original. It's reversed, so I'm not sure I like it. I don't like those reversed headstocks. They're such a pain. I don't know why they do that. I mean, I know it was a thing, but I don't know, man. It's like you gotta tune backwards. Oh, man. You can't beat that. I always like the Gibson pickups I've tried, but they aren't as good as the Thornbuckers, I imagine. I've never tried the Thornbuckers. I've come close to ordering a set for the my Sir, the one I wanted to mod, that guy, but I didn't pull the trigger on it yet. If I don't know if I'd go with the Thornbuckers with this one, or if I would just get Matt over at Monty's Guitars to make me a set, or maybe pick up a set of Peg City, or put in a set of Anthems. There's so many good pickups out there. Take it easy, Fat Philosopher. See you next Sunday, man. Special 69 show. I don't know. What do you guys have in mind? What do you think I should do for that one? My pleasure, Rico. I always, I'm happy to give any kind of pickup advice. I wired my SG to be out of phase in the middle switch position yesterday. I like how she sounds. Might have to install a push-pull now. The out of phase gives you another option, you know. It's really just additional sounds at your disposal. That's why I did it on the purple Telecaster. I don't know. It's just something. I might not use it all that much, but it's there if you need it. Pickups have a reverse snobbery going on. You can show off if you get some great inexpensive ones. Yeah, that is generally what I'm after. Good sounding, inexpensive pickups that nobody knows about yet, right? So you can grab a whole bunch and put them in all your guitars. Yeah, man. The reverse headstock. I don't know. I don't know who invented that or who came up with that, but you know, the Chapman guitars have the reverse headstocks. Don't like them. I wouldn't buy a guitar with a reverse headstock at all. Gospel of Mark says, love the PRS. I've been in and out since I'm... What happened there, Mark? I got a pair of Korean Duncan PAFs and compared them to the American, dead accurate. Even the metal base is the same. $23 US a pair. Interesting. Might have to try them out. Where did you, if you don't mind sharing your source, Paul, let us know. Maybe if you have a reliable place we can get the knockoffs for $23, that would be cool to check out. Mortgage your house and buy a dumble for the demo for show 69. Maybe I can get somebody to lend it to me. Anybody out there with a dumble? Some people like the reverse headstock. Okay. Okay. I won't criticize then. To each his own. Demo an ABY switch for show 69. Yeah, that would be a showstopper, wouldn't it? Yeah, Hendrix who? I don't know who Hendrix is. Yeah, he definitely started the whole reverse headstock thing, but I don't know, man. Why make it hard for yourself? I mean, it wasn't designed to be used that way, so... But whatever, to each its own, right? We all gotta do something unique in our own way, and if that works for you, that's great. That's fantastic. So guys, any last questions before we wrap up here? Again, I've been going for almost 2 hours. I'm gonna have to start lunch soon and get things going. Oh. Out of tune. So what else, guys? Anything else? What do you guys want to ask before we head off for another week and come back a week later? Yeah, waiting for the bus, man. Anything else? Or are you guys kind of tired of hearing me talking here and just want to get your day on the road? If that's the case, then I definitely will wrap it up. One of my favorite ZZ Top tunes. Yeah, man. Favorite strap locks? That's a good question. My favorite strap locks, I don't have any on this guitar, are the bottle seals. The rubber round red seals you can get off your beer bottles. That's what I like to use. They're inexpensive, they're easy to find, and you got to drink a beer to get them. So win, win, win. I use those most of the time. You put them on and they don't really come off that easy, and if you lose them, no big deal. So Paul says, I got them from a wholesaler as a sample to try before buying quantity. I went back a year later and the company was gone. I expect they are black market. So then how do we get them? We can't get them anymore. Tony, have you tried the new Dario elliptical strap buttons? Elliptical, yeah. No, I haven't. I've seen them. You know what? There's so many companies making these things. My original 80s Roadstar 2 Ibanez had a boomerang shape strap lock. So you'd slide it in one arm, then slide it in the other arm, and they work like a charm. So there's a lot of companies making stuff like that. But to me, I find like the little rubber seals, they work great, and you don't have to modify your guitars, and they're inexpensive. I mean, when you swap these things out after a while, if you're gonna swap 10 guitars worth, it gets expensive. I can buy a bag of these things off Amazon or wherever for like, not even $10 for like 100 of these things. So for me, it's worthwhile. It works well. Yeah, the grosh grommets, exactly. Yeah, man. If it works for you, I think if you have a couple of guitars, it's fine. Yeah, if you put those on, they'll work really good. it doesn't, I mean, the worst thing is dropping a guitar. So whatever stops your guitar from falling is great. At one point, I even had a strap lock system from Guitar Waves, Planet Waves, where the actual end of the strap was a plastic lock that you would put in, and you had a little thing that you turn and it locks in place. But I didn't like the idea of having the plastic rubbing against my guitar, even though the back of it had like a foam thing to help not scratch your guitar. But I went back to the rubber grommets because, like I said, they're just no-brainers. Not a strap lock snob. Yeah, man, if you find something that works, Mark, you put them on all your guitars for sure. Why not? Yeah, me too. I use the washers most of the time. And I know that now there's other companies making knockoffs, like Fender's making them, and other companies are making them. They're charging a lot more, right? I think they're charging like $4 for like 2 or 4 or something like that, when you can buy a big bag like of 100 for like not that much money. Do I have a max number of guitars that I own? Not yet. I try not to keep stuff that I don't play. So if there's a guitar that really hasn't been played in a while, I usually get rid of it after a while. But I don't really have a fixed number in my head. It gives me the opportunity to try out a guitar compared to the other ones. When you have more guitars, you bring a new one in and you're comparing it to 3 or 4 of your top guitars. It really gives you a better perspective of how that guitar fits into the mix. And that'll determine whether or not I keep it or not. Christopher says he finds the Grosch rubber grommets work great for Gibson. Easy on, easy off. Mark says he used to own about 25 guitars. Now he owns about 10, including acoustics and basses. You know, it's great if you can weed the herd and get it down to, handful of guitars that you really love. Then there's really no need for the extras, right? But it's really hard to get them down because, you will play a guitar one day and you feel like, this one's average now. Then you play it again a couple days later and you love it. So it's weird. The psychology of it is weird. Vox says I try and keep the number of guitars I own lower than the number of chords I know. So then in my case, I would have to limit myself to 3. Okay, guys, it's been a blast. Another great Sunday show, in my opinion. Thank you guys for tuning in and being so energetic with your comments and participating in the chat and helping to keep things going. I really do appreciate that. I hope you guys will continue to tune in to our Sunday shows. We'll do regular shows Sunday morning. From time to time, I might get the urge to throw something in on a different day, and if that's the case, I'll let you guys know ahead of time so that you know when to tune in. But generally, not to confuse people, the shows will generally be Sunday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you like what we're doing here on Addicted to Gear, then keep on tuning in. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, do that as well so that you will be notified when I post my videos. There'll be a video coming this week on the EVH guitar that I built. So for those of you who are interested in checking out and getting a little bit more information on how I put that one together, that's the video to tune into. And there'll be more videos coming your way because we have all these great guitars and pickups to do reviews on as well. So take care. Stay safe, guys. Keep playing your guitar. Keep checking out new gear. And if you have comments on any of the videos that I have out there, just comment away and I'll answer your questions. I'm always reachable via the comments, all right? That's it, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have a great long weekend to all my American viewers out there. And we'll see you next Sunday for another Addicted to Gear show. Take it easy, guys.